Kevin Stefanski has already named his quarterback for next week against the Ravens. You're not going to want to miss this, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Browns Report. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. I'm sure we're all still feeling some emotions right now tonight about this unfathomable loss to the New York Jets, which is why I think we need to have a quarterback conversation. First, hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen, because I think we can hit 60K in November. You guys are the best. Browns fans are the best fan base in the league. If we can hit that sub button, win or lose, show all the teams in the NFL that the Browns fans are the best and the most loyal, that we're still here after what we saw today. Hit the subscribe button. We're almost there to 60K. All right, here's what Kevin Stefanski said he's going to do next week. We're going to stick with Dillon. Obviously, young players that you're always trying to get one game better. We have to play better as an offense. We have to coach better. All of the above. First of all, this is what Stefanski says every week. We have to play better. We have to coach better. When are you going to coach better? You just keep saying it. But I want to know why. Why are we sticking with Dillon Gabriel? Why is that the confident absolute? The yes. It's not even we're going to look at all things, which he usually says. It's not even we're going to have that conversation. It's yes, I'm sticking with Dillon. What is going on behind the scenes? Because once again, Gabriel's stats today, just nothing flashy, nothing eye-popping. I didn't see a flash or a reason to continue starting him at quarterback. The completion percentage is not good again. He had the 2 touchdowns in the first half. I think Tommy Rees did a slightly better job. We're going to talk about that, getting him in some good positions. But really, that's just early in the game, which we've seen from the Browns all year long. Second half, we had 3 points. What am I supposed to do with that? The Jets' defense is awful. They're so bad. And that was before they traded away the 2 best players on the defense. Quinnen Williams is not there. Sauce Gardner is not on the roster. And we can't score enough points to beat the New York Jets. And I'm not saying this loss was Gabriel's fault completely. The special teams blunder were nauseating and probably the biggest thing you'd point to why we lost this game. But what I am saying is it's the same story, and I've seen enough of quarterback play. I've seen the sample size for Dillon Gabriel, and I'm not confident. I think it's time to make a quarterback change. It's time to evaluate your other rookie quarterback. You drafted both with the intention of seeing them both play and evaluating both rookie quarterbacks. And this one, Shedeur Sanders, was projected to be a first-round pick. I never saw a single analyst say that Dillon Gabriel should have been ahead of Shedeur. If the Browns didn't take him in the 3rd, I don't know when Gabriel would have got drafted. It was a pretty surprising pick, and I've done my best to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm a Browns fan. I want to see the Browns succeed, and because I'm not seeing it, I have to get on here and say, you need to turn to number 12 and evaluate what we have behind the scenes. So the next 5 games for the Cleveland Browns. Well, we already know Gabriel is going to start against the Baltimore Ravens. And, I'm fine with that, honestly, because when you do make the quarterback change, I think you're going to want Shedeur to come in against a bad team like the Raiders or the Tennessee Titans. I'd really bookmark this game, Cam Ward versus Shedeur, the 2 QBs that were supposed to be the top picks in the NFL draft. Well, that seems to make the most sense. And if you can have him start and get an easy win, which should be easy for him, I would imagine, well, that would give you some juice, some momentum, and all of a sudden everybody's bought back in, and the crowd's going to be electric. So I'm fine with it not being the Ravens game. That would be a true test as well. Hey, Dillon, seriously, show me something here. But we've already seen enough, in my opinion. When do you think it's going to be? Comment, Browns fans, in the comment section. What game? What week? Will Shedeur Sanders get the starting job at quarterback? Like I said, Stefanski has already said we're sticking with Dillon. So hopefully that's not a rest of the year thing, or hopefully improves. But guys, I've seen enough. I told you. It's a game manager style of QB, and it's not going to win football games. I want to see what we have in Shedeur. We're going to talk more about him. Myles Garrett weighed in as well, saying Quarterback direction has nothing to do with me. I'm worried about the defense. Who we stick with at quarterback is up to Kevin. So, Garrett didn't really want to comment when asked about Stefanski sticking with Gabriel. Kind of just leaving it up there saying, hey, that's none of my business. So, we'll see, Browns fans. I think a lot of people want to see 12 play. A lot of people want to just see him get out there, right? See what he can do. See if it provides a spark. At the very least, get him some reps in game. You just lost to the Jets. The season's pretty much over. Evaluate Shedeur before next year's draft. That's what I'm thinking. We're going to talk a little bit more about this quarterback controversy, quote unquote. Also going to talk about how Tommy Rees did as a play caller and how the wide receivers looked in this game. So do not go anywhere. We're talking more about the Browns quarterbacks and their offense today. But before we do that, super excited to tell you guys this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Football is in full swing now on Sundays, and I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I am obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button. Check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. I, unfortunately, lost because Quinshawn Judkins did not have more than 79.5 rushing yards, and Jackson Dart didn't throw a touchdown pass. So it's a losing week for me on Sunday in every aspect of my life. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. I was actually right about Jerry Jeudy having a better game, though. I did call this if you've been watching the show all week, and if you follow the Browns report on Instagram. I said Jerry Jeudy is finally going to have his best game of the season, and that he did. 78 yards receiving, a receiving touchdown, also averaged 13 yards. I mean, that's much better from Jerry Jeudy. The emphasis in Cleveland was to get him the football, that he wasn't getting enough targets. He still had a drop, but we finally got a better game from Jerry Jeudy. It was time. Now, I still think the wide receiver room as a whole is going to need some improvement, but you can't say they're the absolute reason that we lost today. Jeudy was involved in the game plan, actually had a decent day as a wide receiver one. Cedric Tillman, might take a moment for him to get a little adjusted, but it was good to see him back out there and make a couple plays. Isaiah Bond was hurt. He'll be back. So, this wide receiver room, if Jeudy can play like the number one he did last year and like he did today a little bit, well, then it may be fine. I still think you need another weapon in there, though, because, Bond gets hurt. Well, you see what you saw today, just only one option. You're going to need to bring someone else in. But that's not the biggest issue anymore. And what you're seeing from the Browns offense, well, beyond the scripted plays that start a football game, they cannot move on offense. Like I said, second half, we totaled 3 points. You can't move. Something is an issue. And the play calling was slightly better today, right? I mean, I think there were a couple more deep shots with Tommy Rees, so take a little bit more chances. It was similar in a sense, though, because it's Stefanski's playbook, but he mixed it up a little bit, at least took a chance or two, and got Jerry Jeudy a touchdown and target in the end zone. So, Gabriel missed some throws. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty. It's clearly not fixed. It's not solved in one game. And losing to the New York Jets, who are literally tanking, who literally blew up their roster, after we are coming off a bye week, it is inexcusable. Like, seriously. And that's, again, why I say we need to try out Shedeur Sanders. Gabriel is a quarterback that needs to be put in the right situation. You need to have talent around a type of game-managing quarterback. I'm not seeing deep throw arm talent from Dillon Gabriel. I want to see what we have in Shedeur. We need a hero. This offense needs saving. If you don't have the pieces for a game managing quarterback, let's start someone who's going to try and win the game for you. And look, it might not look pretty every game. I understand that. But I project that it will look better. I project that it will provide a spark. And Shedeur is a talented quarterback. I really think that. Not only at the University of Colorado, but even the insiders are saying he's really looking good with his reps in practice. They gave him some more and gave him a chance. I don't see what you have to lose right now. I think he'll get the final 4 games of the season at least. You know, Stefanski seems pretty adamant on sticking with Gabriel right now, but us in the media as fans, how can you not have this conversation about benching Gabriel? I mean, are they really going to go with him the entire year still? I don't know, Browns fans, but like I said, I think Shedeur will get the final 4 games of the season, and I want to know, what did you think of the play calling with Tommy Rees? Was it better today? Type B for better? Type W for worse? Type S for the same? Did it make a big impact? Did it make a change? Voice your opinions in that comment section. Like I said, personally, I think it was slightly better, but I don't think it's problem solved. You know, I think there's a coaching issue still. I think there's a scheme issue in Cleveland, and we needed some serious reevaluation in the offseason about some people might need to lose their jobs. Losing the New York Jets, it's got to be the nail in the coffin for somebody, whether it's the quarterback, whether it's the coach. Something needs to change. I don't think Tommy Rees solved all our issues today, evidently, by the loss. By the way, special teams, Bubba might be on the hot seat now. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Going over to X, follow me at Joey070 if you want to talk some more Browns football tonight and just get their emotions out. I'm there for you on Twitter. Go hit me up, follow me. Also, subscribe to the channel, daily Browns news and content. I got you covered. You guys are awesome for sticking with me here today on today's show. Got another video coming out very early tomorrow morning, probably 10 a.m. Eastern, so make sure you are on YouTube at that time and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very shortly here on the Browns Report.